So are you looking to buy an Insta360 camera, but you are not sure which one is the right one for you? The Insta360 Go 3 and the X3 are the two kind of flagship cameras from this company, but they do very different things and kind of designed for different purposes. The Go 3 is a tiny little action camera designed to mount to pretty much anything. It can go places that no other camera can go. And the X3 is a dual lens 360 camera that is capable of creating really creative shots. So what is the best option? Well, that entirely depends on what you intend to use your cameras for. These are obviously meant for different things, so the comparison isn't quite equal, but I'm going to go through everything that these cameras can do, what their pros and cons are, and why you might want to get either of these cameras. So I have been using both of these cameras since they were released, really, and I've even taken them both to several countries, created a lot of different shots with them, so I think I pretty much know what I'm talking about. So it doesn't take a genius to work out that these two cameras are very different in terms of design, size, and well, pretty much everything. I mean, if they didn't have the same branding, you would not think they were from the same company. But let's start by looking at the Go 3, which actually comes in two parts. You have the tiny camera, which pops out of, there it is, tiny little pill-shaped action camera with a single lens and one physical button, which basically takes up its whole body. The rear of the Go 3 features a magnet which can attach to any metal object, anything that's magnetic. So you can mount this to loads of different things, whether they be outside, inside, anywhere that you can find something magnetic, the Go 3 will attach to pretty securely. The second part is the dock here, which the Go 3 can slide right into. Now this features a large touch screen, which allows you to control the camera settings, preview, see your footage. While the Go 3 is out of the dock, you can also wirelessly control the camera. The dock also provides extra battery power. It can basically charge the Go 3 around 3 times over. The obvious advantage of the Go 3 is its tiny size, its magnetic mounts, and the various accessories you get in the box. It makes it super easy to shoot POV shots, attach the camera to places that otherwise you would never be able to attach a camera. It's very inconspicuous, great for shooting travel videos where otherwise you may feel self-conscious to have a larger camera around. The Go 3 can attach to your body, to a bag, to even your belt, to anything that you can think of, really. In comparison, the X3 is much larger, I mean at least 4 or 5 times larger, and much heavier, and much more conspicuous. But the two lenses allow you to shoot 360 video as well as standard video as well, so essentially it's two cameras in one. You will also find a large touch screen for controlling the camera and a couple of physical buttons for turning it on and controlling the shutter. The X3 is designed to make use of its 360 capabilities, with the bottom of the camera featuring a mount for an invisible selfie stick, which allows you to create the invisible selfie stick effect, which essentially makes it look like the camera is floating when you're shooting any 360 video. With this, you can create some amazingly unique shots, and I'll go into some of these later. But the X3 is much more vulnerable than the Go 3 thanks to those large fisheye lenses that stick out. If they get damaged, then the camera will be pretty much useless unless you repair them. Both cameras are waterproof without a case. However, the X3 has had some problems with water resistance. You have to make sure all of the doors and all of the shutters are completely closed, otherwise the camera will break. Whereas the Go 3 doesn't have that problem. You are pretty much guaranteed it's going to survive underwater. So let's start looking at some video comparisons, because that's basically what you're going to be using either of these cameras for. The Go 3 features a variety of video modes, but you're going to be basically focused on two. That is the standard video mode and the free frame video mode. The standard video mode allows you to shoot at the 2.7K resolution, which is the highest resolution the Go 3 is capable of shooting. However, the video bitrate is capped at 40 megabits per second, which isn't great. You will also not be able to apply the best stabilization options in the standard video mode. Free frame mode does limit the resolution to slightly below 2.7K, but allows you to shoot at 80 megabits per second bitrate, which I think really increases the quality of the video more than any change in resolution. Also, you can apply the best stabilization settings, so I think overall free frame is the best version to to use the best of those two options, and it's the mode that I used for all of the video comparisons. You'll also find time-lapse, time shift, loop recording, and pre-recording modes in the Go 3, which you won't be using as much but can be useful in certain situations. For example, if you wanted to use it as a dash cam or capture a sunrise or sunset automatically without having to set it up yourself. The Insta360 X3 has more video modes, mostly because it has the ability to shoot 360 video using both lenses and normal non-360 video using just either one of these single lenses. The 360 video is captured at 5.7K resolution. However, when you reframe this video, which is basically taking that 360 video and choosing where the camera is pointing at any time, this will reduce the quality of your video. You can export it in 4K, but it will look more like 1440p because the pixels will be stretched out. You can also create virtual reality video using the X3 to watch on a VR headset or on Facebook, where you can manipulate the video, and this will be capped at 5.7K. Using the single lens, you can capture 4K normal video. It does have a kind of fisheye stretched out effect. Also in the single lens option, you'll find the pretty unique me mode. This automatically keeps you in the center of the frame no matter how much you move the camera where you're pointing it. You'll need an invisible selfie stick to achieve this effect, but the video you see here was done entirely without me editing and without me doing any special effects. This is all done inside the camera, so it's basically perfect for vlogging. When shooting in the 360 mode, the X3 offers a lot more creativity, a lot more creative options for creating unique shots. Something that these kind of shots the Go 3 is just simply not capable of creating. And while I'm on the subject of very unique shots with the X3, I have just recently released a video course, a very comprehensive video course, teaching you how to get the most creative, awesome shots with your Insta360 X3. It will take you from a beginner to a pro. There are over 40 lessons teaching you how to create dozens and dozens of these amazing, unique shots. So if you were thinking about getting the X3 and you want to know how to create those awesome shots, check the description below. I have an offer for the first 100 people who subscribe to this course. It's going to be half price, so if you are interested in that and you want to get the best shots possible, check it out. But back to the comparison. Yes, you can get these amazing shots with the X3. You can also get some fairly creative shots with the Go 3 because it's so small and it can go places that other cameras can't, and you can attach it to things. But overall, the X3 allows for a lot more creativity and a lot more unique content. Now, if we just focus on video quality, there isn't really that much between these two cameras. Neither of them are going to shoot the most amazing high quality video you've seen. It's not going to compare to your phone or a DSLR or even a GoPro Hero 11. These cameras are designed for unique shots, creativity, not for high quality video. When comparing the Go 3 and the Insta360 in its 360 mode, the Go 3 footage tends to come out on top with slightly sharper video. But remember, the X3 360 video offers far more editing options and opportunities for creativity. The Go 3 versus the X3 in single lens mode is less clear cuts. Even though the X3 single lens mode shoots at a high resolution, 4K, the fisheye lens isn't as good at picking up light and details. So I think overall, probably the Go 3 clinches it again if we zoom in and we can see slightly sharper details and better colors. The Go 3 shoots at 60 frames per second, whereas the X3 in 4K single lens mode is limited to 30 frames per second. The higher frame rate is better for shooting any kind of moving video, which you'll probably be doing a lot of with either of these cameras. The X3 can shoot 60 frames per second video at a slightly. I also fairly extensively tested the stabilization options of both cameras because they're both marketed as action cameras or cameras that are amazing for keeping your video steady. Both do these very well, but there is, I think, one clear winner. As I mentioned, you should be using the Go 3 in the free frame mode because that gives you the best stabilization options. You do have to process the video through the Insta360 Studio to get those options, but it's definitely worth it. The Go 3 does a pretty good job of keeping your video smooth while walking, running, cycling, or when it's attached to the various mounts that it comes with. It begins to struggle in more extreme circumstances or if the video gets very, very shaky. But that's to be expected with a camera that only has one lens. the Go 3 also features horizon lock, which is pretty amazing for a camera of this size and price, and that keeps the horizon level no matter how much you move the camera. The single lens mode of the X3 is somewhat comparable to the Go 3 when it comes to stabilization, maybe a little bit better because it has a slightly wider field of view, so more pixels to work with. But by far the best option for shooting moving shots of especially any extreme shots is the X3 using the 360 mode. No matter what you're doing with it, no matter what it's attached to, no matter how much you put it through, it's been proven that 360 cameras are amazing at keeping video super stable. The downside is that the lenses are super vulnerable, so doing the most action gives you the most chance you're going to break the camera, but is also the best way to capture really high speed, high octane shots with any other kind of camera. Moving on to the photography options, neither of these cameras I would recommend for any serious photography. The Go 3 not great at shooting photos, nor is the X3 in the single lens mode. They look like photos shot with 2006 cameras, phone cameras, so yeah, I would not recommend. They do have HDR modes, which try to boost the quality, but not doing so well. The X3 in the 360 mode can shoot 72 megapixel 360 images, so if that's a bit more unique, and you can manipulate these photos, create some cool effects, and even view them on a VR headset. The X3 does clinch that because it has the more creative option. No matter which of these cameras you use, you're going to be using the Insta360 software, which really is a part of the price. The software is free, you can download it for free. Both the app and the studio are fairly advanced for a action camera setup. The app in particular allows for so many automatic editing options, basically a full vlog creator, automatic vlog creators. You can add music, transitions, text, combine clips together. For the X3, there are more options, more of these AI editing options, more of the automatic effect creators for the X3, just because, once again, it has a lot more things you can do with it. There are still some effects you can automatically create with the Go 3, with the Insta360 app, but there are just less options in general. On the flip side, it makes it a lot easier to use. That's a lot less of a learning curve, and overall, you'll be able to pick it up and use this much quicker than the X3. Using the desktop software is the best way to get the highest quality footage. If you wanted to get the most out of these cameras, then you need to process it through this, again, free desktop software. There are less options for editing here, but most of the time I edit my stuff on the desktop studio anyway, just because it's easier and it results in higher quality footage. Just to mention a few other features, I guess, the battery life. Neither of these cameras have amazing battery life. The Go 3 is able to recharge itself 3 times over using the dock. The X3 lasts for about an hour of continuous shooting. I do tends to find they run out of, particularly the X3, runs out of battery quicker than I would like. It rarely lasts me a whole day if I'm out shooting. If I'm in a city, shooting the whole city, it will run out of battery before I'm done with it. So bear that in mind. You might want to buy an extra battery or bring a portable charger. So guys, I think that's it for this comparison. Now, obviously these are 2 different cameras. One's a 360 camera, one's a kind of standard action camera, albeit very, very tiny. Basically what it comes down to is, do you want to spend more time editing? Do you want to kind of unlock some creativity that maybe you didn't know you had? Do you want to get the viral, unique shots that no other camera can get? Well, then the X3 is going to be the option for you. If you saw those invisible selfie stick effects, those effects that I've shown you are like, yes, that's what I want to make, then this is the only way to do that with this kind of camera. If you find all of that a bit terrifying, learning all of that, and you just like the idea of a tiny little camera that can pretty much go wherever, that's very easy to use in fact, but can also create a few unique shots that may make you go a bit viral, at least among your friends, then yeah, the Go 3 is the best option. The X3 is definitely the more advanced of the 2. It has more shooting options, it's more expensive, and you can, at the end of the day, create more kinds of video, more unique video with the X3. So that's it, guys. I hope you found that comparison useful if you were trying to choose between the X3 and the Go 3. Make sure you check out that video course I mentioned in the description below. It's half price for the first 100 people from YouTube to sign up, and I promise it's going to be supported for many years to come. Lots of content going to be added to that in the future. But that's it, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.